let's talk about the Lamar Jackson situation. How at this point, nobody wants to sign him. The Ravens tagged him with a non-exclusive franchise tag here a few days ago, and now all of a sudden every team seems to be out on Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm going to talk about what I personally think why these teams aren't willing to pay Lamar what he wants, and they're just not even going to attempt to negotiate with him. But I'm also going to kind of talk about some of the reasons I've seen other people talking. Now, my thing is it's kind of weird, and I feel like these teams kind of knew that this was going to be the case because, Falcons, Washington, Raiders, all these teams were very into Lamar Jackson up till the Ravens actually put that tag on him. And I don't think the Ravens put that tag on him unless they know these teams aren't going to go out and try to sign Lamar. That is part of my thought, but I'm going to talk about these other topics. Let's start with the one that I'm not most comfortable when talking about, but I have seen people saying he didn't get the contract and nobody wants him, and they're all doing this because he's black. Now, I don't personally think that's true, because first off, the whole reason this is a problem and the reason why Lamar hasn't been paid yet is because he wants the contract fully guaranteed. Well, there's one player that caused that issue, and his name's Deshaun Watson. He got that contract with Cleveland. He got the contract that Lamar pretty much wants. And at the same sense, I just don't think teams would turn down paying a guy who can win you football games. Now, I've also seen people comparing, well, if this was Joe Burrow would have got that contract. Well, that is a terrible comparison, as Joe Burrow has taken at least the Bengals to a Super Bowl, AFC Championship. He wins playoff games. He can beat Patrick Mahomes. He's done it before. Lamar cannot beat Patrick Mahomes to save his life. I feel like maybe a Justin Herbert comparison would have been better in that situation, as they're a little bit more similar. Not much no playoff success, really. Lamar's got one win, Herbert's made it one time and blew a massive lead. Not entirely his fault, that was the Chargers, but still, Herbert would have been a better comparison, and I don't think Justin Herbert is going to get the type of contract Lamar wants. I could be wrong about that. I could see Joe Burrow getting it, but that is not the same comparison. Next, the other thing I've seen people saying is collusion in the NFL. And I don't think this one's it either, because personally, I think these teams want to win. I think Atlanta, their owner wants to win. He wants to win games. Washington, they want to win. The Raiders, they think they want to win, but they don't know what they're doing. So all these teams want to win, and Lamar Jackson can help them win. So yes, they might be all kind of agreeing because they don't want to pay these quarterbacks guaranteed contracts, which is understandable to a point, but I'll get into it more when I talk about why I think Lamar shouldn't get this contract. But I do understand that to a point. But I still think that there is another Cleveland out there. Now, Cleveland's the dumbest team, and they're the only ones that were guaranteed to do something stupid like this. But there's other teams out there. Washington does stupid things like this all the time. And I just don't think all these owners came to an agreement not to do this contract. It's a possibility. Just trust me, I could see it being a thing because they don't love that idea. They were all pretty mad at Cleveland. People were pissed at Cleveland for doing that. But I don't think they're going to go ahead and try to do that. And I think, honestly, if you're going to not offer him the contract he wants, and if he accepts it, Baltimore's going to match it. There's no point even bother negotiating with him. So I don't personally think that is also the full reason. So next up, let's talk about what I personally think why Lamar isn't getting the contract that he wants. My personal opinion is I think Lamar is a subpar quarterback. If you look at his passing stats, they're never great. The man throws for maybe 3,000 yards, maybe 20-some-odd touchdowns. Outside of the MVP year, he's been very subpar. You can blame the receivers, but he has Mark Andrews, Hollywood Brown for a little while there. It's not a receiver problem right now. It is a Lamar Jackson issue. On top of the fact that you add in he's became very injury-prone as the last 2 years, he has not finished the season. On top of that, he has suffered an injury the year before in the playoffs, which made Tyler Huntley have to finish the game. So 3 straight years, Lamar had an injury at the end of the season, and players like him just don't last in this league. Mike Vick was never the same when he kept getting hurt over and over and over. These guys just don't manage. RG3, when he tore his ACL, he was done. These guys just don't manage getting hurt very well. So I don't personally think these owners want to pay Lamar because it's too risky. Paying a guy who plays like him is more risky paying him than Deshaun Watson, personally, because Watson is a fantastic thrower. If he lost his athleticism, he would still be able to throw football well. Same thing with a lot of other people like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. They are top-tier throwing quarterbacks. They can run if they need be, but their number one thing isn't running. Lamar is the complete opposite, so paying him $250 million guaranteed to run the football is just not worth it. You don't pay running backs that type of money. Not saying Lamar is a running back, but you take out his running ability, he's nowhere near as good a quarterback, and he's on the same level as like a Derek Carr, where people are like, Derek Carr ain't worth anything. Honestly, he's pretty close to Daniel Jones. His statistics the last 2 seasons are closer to Daniel Jones than it is to Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert or Patrick Mahomes or any of those guys. Even Jalen Hurts or Tua recently, it just isn't worth paying him that type of contract. I just don't fully understand why he can't get through his head that this is just not going to happen. And I think he thought that it was because he is one of the most electrifying players in the league. He's got that MVP. In my opinion, MVPs don't matter because Carson Wentz should almost won an MVP, and now look at him. He's pretty much out of the league. He'll be a backup at best, but he's a cancer in the locker room, so I don't even think he can be that. So Lamar has kind of screwed himself because I believe at one point the Ravens offered him a 5-year, $200 million contract with $130 million guaranteed. He turned that down because he wanted it fully guaranteed. And I understand it. He thinks he's worth the money. He definitely is. He has performed to that level. But without playoff success, with his playing abilities or his play style not being a long-term fit, you just can't pay him that type of money. And that is why no team wants to sign him. I don't think it's collusion. I don't think it's because of his color. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's because he cannot maintain this playstyle for a long period of time. If you guys enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.